evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 99 of Fan Experience TV. As you could tell, it's just me. I'm Mike Kados. I am the host. Rick is going to be joining us shortly, probably within the next 20 minutes or so. But for now, we'll start the show off a little bit differently than we normally do. But first, this is Fan Experience TV. Welcome for those of you that are joining us for the first time, and welcome back to all of you dedicated viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure to have you back for episode 99, one episode before our live and in-person show this Sunday at Rudi's Bar and Grill in Patchogue, New York. So hope to see you there. For those of you that are going to be in the area, as always, I'm your host, Mike Kados. And this show is produced and presented by Playing the Field, a sports fan community focused on fan engagement, putting sports fans together for platonic and romantic reasons. So go try out the beta right now at playthefielddating.com. All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you. We will get to, what's going on around the sports world. We have wild card playoffs going on right now. We had week 4 of the NFL. Me and Rick will break that down after our guest. But right now, we are joined by none other than Stock Tip Dave, the video editor for ActionPark Media. Dave, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. So thank you very much for coming on and joining us on the show. Rick will be here momentarily. So for those of you, those of you in the audience that don't know, ActionPark Media is a media company, and they produce some popular podcasts. And Dave is the video editor there. Why don't you tell them a little bit about ActionPark Media?
So we obviously we're a media content company, and we produce podcasts. And we've got American Glutton, which is hosted by Ethan Suplee. It's a health and fitness podcast. We have Victory, the podcast, which is based on Entourage. It's got Kevin Dillon, Kevin Connolly, and the creator of the show, Doug Ellen. We have a show called Flashbacks, where it's hosted by Jessica Hall. She was in the Playboy world back in the day, so they're reliving all those flashbacks and memories. We've got something called The Dossier, where we try to uncover the murder of Biggie Smalls, because the LA covered up, and we were trying to expose what actually happened. And we've had guests like Tiller Russell, who created The Night Stalker, and so we're expanding. We've had Sean Avery, we've had Dom's Den, we've had upwards of 10 podcasts at any time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great shows. I've followed a few of them. Most notably, the Victory, the podcast, being a big Entourage fan myself. So I guess let's jump back just a little bit, and we'll get more in depth onto ActionPark. So you grew up in Florida, that's correct?
Yeah, Orlando, huge Orlando Magic fan. We only had a basketball team, so basketball is my favorite out of all the sports, and ended up, worked for 3 hockey teams, 2 basketball teams. I've been across the country working as an account manager, sales, service, sponsorships, marketing, done a little bit of everything. Even tried to write scouting reports when I was at the Atlanta Hawks. So,
I definitely saw. I noticed that huge Orlando Magic fan, and one of the best fan experiences that you had was the Game 7. Between the Magic and the Pacers in '95, the Eastern Conference Finals. So talk to us about what was going through your head. Were you there, or were you were there? Okay.
Yeah, I watched it happen. It was the loudest I've ever heard the arena. It was the best. I mean, they blew them out, but it was nerve wracking because the game before they had lost by like 30 points, so everybody's on their toes, and went there, and it was just like everybody's going crazy. And I've never heard the arena that loud in my life. And so obviously they celebrated a little too early, because when they won that game, it felt like they'd won the world championship, and they were on an extreme high. And obviously didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, but
Yeah.
and to this day,
Yeah.
I've met everybody from that team. The only person I have not met is Horace Grant and Anthony Hardaway. I've become friends with Nick Anderson because he was in Atlanta when I worked for the Hawks, and Dennis Scott did the TV commentary as well. And then I met Shaq here at Action Park last year. He did a podcast, so that was really cool.
Yeah, I think I heard that episode. So that that must be fun. Like
Bob Menery when he was
Hmm?
here. That was on Bob Menery's podcast, Zapped.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I remember seeing the videos at least on Instagram and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, obviously a big. Are you rooting for like the Tampa Bay Rays in the playoffs right now?
Yeah.
Being a Florida person, or do you not really big on the baseball side of things?
Baseball, I probably know. Baseball and hockey, I really don't know a whole lot about. I cheer for the Rays because obviously I want every team in Tampa to win this year because the Lightning won it, the Bucks won it, and I think the Buccaneers and Lightning. If the Buccaneers win this year, I think they're the first city to have two teams win back-to-back titles in the same exact years in the history of sports.
Wow, yeah. No, I mean I can't remember. I can't remember one.
Yeah,
so,
and that's why I'm hoping if the Rays can somehow pull it off this year. I mean, I watched the game last year. I still to this day, I think they should have left the pitcher in there, and they yanked him too soon, and they lost the game in the series. But I'm hoping all three can win, at the same time.
Well, that would be amazing. The Giants are on a hell of a run in San Francisco, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. And the Cardinals are red hot, but Tampa Bay is definitely a strong team, and for the payroll that they have, it's just amazing. What they're able to do to these powerhouse payroll teams, and they just
I'm hoping the Rays move to Orlando because they're drawing like 5,000 people. I don't even know. That's probably a wrong number, but it's like their attendance is horrible.
So. Yeah. I mean, I think Brady has a lot to do with whatever's in the water there lately. But yeah, it's a good time to be in Florida, to say the least.
And I actually did cheer for the Heat when they played the Lakers because I worked for the Miami Heat, but I grew up in Orlando, so as part of that rivalry, Orlando is better than Miami and all that stuff. But I did cheer for Miami because I didn't want to see Dwight Howard win with the Lakers. So
fair enough.
And fair enough. Dwight Howard ended up winning a title in Orlando, just not with the Magic.
Yeah, and now obviously that was the whole bubble situation. Yeah. That was right there in your backyard, huh? How was that?
Well, I was in LA for it, but I enjoyed it. I missed basketball. I did the virtual fan. Like one of my coworkers from the Miami Heat, actually, he posted something on LinkedIn. I responded, and I got to sit in the Miami Heat section when they were, I think it was against the Celtics or whoever they were playing to go to the finals in the Eastern Conference that year. So I got to do the fan experience and sit kind of courtside. It was really cool.
That's awesome. And when did you decide that you wanted to break into the sports industry? Because you mentioned you worked for the Hawks, and just one of many teams that you worked for. So how did that all come about?
So it's kind of a unique story of how I got into sports, because I kind of took a non-traditional path. So basically, I was 2 months from graduating college, and I was like, I wanted, I clearly didn't know what I wanted to do. I major in communications and advertising, and I was on MBA.com. Just happened to be scrolling on there, and at the bottom it said employment opportunities. So I was like, all right, let's just see what this is all about. Because I'm like 22, 23, didn't think anything of it. And I looked down, and there was all these job fairs. So I basically went to 5 job fairs in 1 week. I went to New Jersey Nets job fair, Washington Wizards job fair, Atlanta Hawks job fair, Orlando Magic, and Miami Heat. So I went to 5 cities in 1 week. I flew to every job fair within a 7-day span. And it was very frustrating that the Nets was long line. It was just throughout the door. I was just a number. When I went to the Washington Wizards, they basically said, you didn't play college sports, we're not interested. And I'm like, okay, that's your loss, because just because I didn't play sports in college, I can't sell basketball. And then Miami was tough. Orlando, I kind of did, but never really wanted to work there because I'm from there. I grew up as part of a fan. I just didn't want to get a job with the Magic and then have it ruin my they're my childhood team, and I didn't want anything to like ruin my affection towards the team. So I never really wanted to work for Orlando. So, and then basically when I went to Atlanta, it was the last of all 5 job fairs. And so what I did was to get the job is, I went there, talked to everybody, spoke to everybody, and I'm like, I still didn't have a good feeling. And so what I did was I just sat there and waited for it to end. And everybody's cleared out. And this one guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, can I help you with anything? And I literally just asked, not knowing who I was speaking to. And I was like, this is my 5th job fair this week. I've seen how many people come to this. What do I have to do to get a job here? And he goes, it's all about the follow-up. And he gave me his card. He ended up being the hiring manager for the entry level. And he saw that I was one of the last people there. I followed up with them like the next day and did an interview for my car back in California 3 days later and got the job. So I basically got into sports because I waited for the job fair to end when they were clearing out, where I knew the only people that would be left were the people that actually worked for the team because they had to clear the tables and things like that. So I took my time and just unknowingly, kind of like when my experience in LA, unknowingly started talking and had a conversation with the guy who ended up being the hiring manager. And it's kind of like, I walked into the situation, just got lucky, kind of like, where I am now. I walked into I became an editor. So basically I met these people. I walked into a sports bar because I'm a huge sports fan. I just wanted to watch sporting events. And it just happened to be a bar called Gold Sports Cafe, which was owned by Kevin Connolly, who I had met previously when he was doing his 30 for 30 for the New York Islanders when I worked there. So he was filming his 30 for 30 on the New York Islanders when I worked there. And I happened to walk in the bar that he owned. I told him the story. He remembered it. And then, flash forward 3 years, I learned how to edit, and now I'm doing the social media clips for the podcast company.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask that down the line, like how did that all come about? But yeah, I mean, I had a feeling knowing that you worked at the Islanders and him being a huge Islanders fan. Yeah. I felt maybe that you two crossed paths at some point or another. But that's just
actually, here he is.
That's not where I met him. That is not where I met him. How you doing?
How we doing, Kev?
I'm good. I heard Islanders and I stopped what I was doing. Dave and I met when I was doing my 30 for 30 at the Islanders, and we have 2 very different recollections of that story. I'll tell you that much for sure.
I didn't tell him the whole thing yet.
Dave said I was wandering around the Coliseum lost, which is not true. That's like my backyard. But Dave's the best. He's our good.
Yeah, no, it's great, and congrats on all the success with Victory. I actually just bought my ticket to Paramount.
Are you going to be at the Paramount in Long Island? Great.
I'll be there. Yeah.
Nice.
So hopefully I can run into you when you're there.
It's our second live show, so little still kicking out some of the nerves. You know what I mean? It's and that's my home stomping ground, so it's put a little more pressure to put on a good show for everybody.
Yeah, we're actually having our 100th episode this Sunday over at Rudi's Bar and Grill, right in your old neighborhood. I don't know if you're familiar with
yes, I am.
Rudi's.
Absolutely. Yep.
Let me pop Rick on. He just
jumped on. How's it going?
What's up, Rick?
I'm doing well, man. Pleasure to meet you. I just got back from a training class in Manhattan, so I rushed over here and made it. So I'm glad to be able to talk to you guys.
Nice. I was walking through the hallway. I heard Dave talking about the Islanders. I had to come in and make sure he's not bad-mouthing anybody.
No. So what do you think? Islanders going to win the cup next year or what? What's going on?
Well, listen, I mean, it'd be crazy to say that they're not, right? I'm saying like that they're not going to be right there.
Yeah.
Right? Last year, they were with a shorthanded goal away from going to the finals, which they would have obliterated Montreal for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And now we added Anders Lee. Now we got our captain back and Zdeno Chara. I mean, this is the window. This is it. So, good luck. We'll see. I'll be the second game. I'm going to go. They're playing the Leafs that night after the Paramount, so I'm going to head over.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. And we'll be out there in LA for Super Bowl weekend too.
Well, come by and check out the studio.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
If you guys know any good parties, let us know.
Sure. All right. I'll see you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Perfect. So, Rick, thanks for joining us.
Man, I rushed through Manhattan rush hour train traffic and got here, as fast as I could. So,
yeah, by all means, fire away the next.
Well, no, it's a great question. You were talking about what kept you going. I mean, you went to 5, sort of those recruiting events. I've been to a couple of those. It's like 1 million people. They take your resume. Nobody pays attention to you.
Yeah,
you one after the other. But what was the drive, man? I mean, you could have been like, you know what, this isn't going to go after me. What kept you going through all that?
Because I wanted to have a job where it wasn't a job for me. I wanted to do something I loved and was passionate about. Like at that time, I knew the money would come later, so I didn't care about the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you care about money, sports is probably not the career for you, because I've done well with commission. I've done jobs where I've tripled my salary with commission.
Mm-hmm.
But you're never, if money is your driving force, I would say don't go to work for a team, because it's sports entertainment. Like, yes, you're getting a $30,000 salary, but they're also giving you like $40,000 worth of free tickets.
Right. That's true. And tell. I mean, I just jumped on real quick. What if you can tell us any great sports experiences that you've had in the jobs that you've had? What's the one experience that sticks out to you?
There's been several. Like, I absolutely love the Atlanta Hawks because it was an entry-level position. That was when I first got my start, and they had a seat filling program, and I got put in charge of it. So I made these passes for everybody so we can use them. And I literally sat courtside for an entire season so they wouldn't look bad on TV for free. So I sat courtside for free.
Wow.
And that was pretty cool. And another experience with Atlanta Hawks was cool. I want to say, like, I worked for Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat, the New York Islanders, the Arizona Coyotes, and the Atlanta Thrashers. That's actually a funny story too, because but I'll go back to the cool experiences though, because we got to use the Hawks practice court, and like Salim Stoudemire, Josh Childress, these guys would join us. We're like ticket sales reps, and they're coming to join us in our pickup game on their practice court. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Like I was playing with Tony Delk, like he was on my team.
Wow. The point guard from Kentucky, Tony Delk, I remember him.
Yeah. So he was and I actually had a good game that day, and so he kept passing me the ball, and I was just drilling threes, and nobody was expecting it. So that was really cool. And so I'm a big basketball guy, and the drive was I just wanted to work. And I was telling him Orlando only has a basketball team. I wasn't big on hockey, baseball, football. And when I got the job with the Atlanta Hawks, throughout the process, nobody ever mentioned the Atlanta Thrashers. And so the entire time, and it's the same ownership group, Atlanta Hawks, Atlanta Thrashers at the time. And I got the job with the Atlanta Hawks. And the first week they had a chart. It said Thrashers and Hawks. And they're like, who do you want to sell for? And I'm like, what do you mean? I work for the Hawks. I'm going to sell for the Hawks. They're like, no, there's Thrashers and Hawks. And I said the same thing again. They're like, you legitimately took a job and didn't know you worked for the NHL as well. And I'm like, I didn't know Atlanta had a hockey team.
That's great.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't either.
They do. Yeah.
Well, not anymore. Now they're the Winnipeg Jets.
That's right. They went back to Winnipeg. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of sad to see, because that was the first time I truly got to love hockey, was when I worked there and I got to sit. I had ice seats, like I got seat fillers, so I got to be right up against the glass seats in the. Atlanta was just Atlanta was the greatest team to work for, I think.
That's incredible.
I mean,
no, that's awesome, and the Hawks are up and coming right now too. Yeah. I mean, there's there's a lot of mixed feelings towards some of the Hawks players over here in New York, but
no need to go there.
But if you think about it, they've had 3 of the biggest trades in NBA history. They traded Bill Russell to the Boston Celtics. They traded Paul Gasol to the Grizzlies, and they traded Luka Doncic to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
And so obviously they got 2 out of the 3 wrong. I actually thought I didn't like the Trae Young trade, because they got, I understand it's Trae Young and Cam Reddish, but at first I was like, they're never going to live that down. And Trae Young surprised me. I'll be the first to admit I was completely wrong about Trae Young. Just like it was JJ Redick.
Yeah, no. I mean he's impressive. A little full of himself, but he's impressive. I mean he's allowed to be full of himself.
Trae Young or JJ Redick?
No, Trae Young.
Trae Young. Well, he broke my heart last summer, man. Let me tell you, that was tough to watch, man.
Yeah,
tough to watch.
They might have gone to the finals had he not hurt his ankle.
I think so. I mean, he was on that kind of a run, man. It was one of those Reggie Miller kind of runs where he was just lighting it up. Yeah. And if he stays healthy, who knows? It would have been an incredible run to see. And that's a good team, man. They're going to be good this year. Atlanta's going to be real good.
Yeah, they added some strength. I want to see if Milwaukee can do it again, but Giannis is starting the season with a hurt knee already. So it's like, the hyperextended knee from the playoffs, it's still bothering him. So that's going to be lingering him. So I'm anticipating a slow start for them. But I don't even think they're going to reach the finals, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
It's like, if the Nets are healthy, they will go to the finals. The Lakers, I still question I know they have all those good players, but it's all about staying healthy and not letting their bodies give out. And
they have the experience, let's say. They have the experience over there on that team.
I'm worried about their shooting. I don't think they have enough shooting.
Yeah. Well, and let's see about the stamina too. We'll see about that too. So, but no, it should be a fun season for sure. But I commend you, with the the persistence of staying in the room and staying in these job fairs until nobody else was left, and and really making yourself be seen, and obviously it's paid off dividends. You mentioned working for the Islanders for a minute there, which is great.
There.
I actually have a friend of mine that I went to school with. I saw that you guys were connected. Stephen April.
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, he worked ticket operations.
He told me to say hello. So
I remember he was really cool. I remember him. Last time I talked to him, I swear he went overseas on a trip or something. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm sure. Years and years. Nobody's traveled in the last couple of years, but you just traveled, right? You went to Maui. How was that?
I was in Maui for a week. It was awesome. I went zip lining, snorkeling, surfing, luau. I did the road to Hana. I tried to pretty much pack in as much stuff as I could in 6 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And actually, one of the cool experiences about the Islanders is the Winter Classic, Rangers Islanders. I actually sold $1 million sponsorship for that game that took about 8 months to close.
Wow,
that is impressive, man.
Who was it to? If you're allowed to say,
if you're allowed to disclose that.
At the time, it's a different name now. At the time, it was a company called Global Event Forum, and now they are known as Prime Sport.
Okay.
And so that was because that took 8 months to close, and so that's sales is it was my niche, you could say, because it's persistent in getting the job and it's making hundreds of calls a day. And I did the math; I probably made 40 to 50,000 calls because you have to make 500 calls a week, if not more.
Man, you made 40 to 50,000 calls. God bless you, man. What persistence, dude.
Yeah, all about persistence.
My very first phone call, I remember I called someone's cell phone, and I called him, gave him my intro, said I'm with the Atlanta Hawks, and the first thing he said was, how did you, he curses at me. He's like, how the F did you get my number? And I'm like, well, you bought tickets. We have your information, so I'm calling you. He's like, well, never call me again, and hung up the phone. And I even had someone give me, they gave me 15 out of 16 credit card numbers. And when they were about to give me the last credit card number, they hung up on me.
Oh my God. That is not cool. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my thing over here. That is awful.
It's obviously, in that sales game, it's all about numbers. It's all about putting yourself out there. And, just on your Instagram alone, Stock Tip Dave, I was looking at some of your content. It's some funny stuff. Like you're just not afraid to put yourself out there, which is great. And did that all, as far as the non-salesy stuff, like just putting yourself out there and just whatever, did that come more after ActionPark, or was that always kind of like your personality?
I've always been random. I'll tell you that. You could have a conversation with me and I'll throw something out of left field and you're like, where did that come from? And it's just how I am. I have a filter, but I kind of don't, because I just kind of let things fly. Yeah. The reason why the name Stock Tip Dave came from is because, when I moved to LA and I had, reconnected with Kevin. And then the second time I was in there, I had I mustered up some liquid courage. He was sitting at a table. It was him, Jerry Ferrara, and some of his people. And I sat at the table just making small talk. And out of nowhere, I just decided to pitch him a stock that I've been buying. And 2 days later, like half the table had bought the stock, and next thing I knew, I've been called Stock Tip Dave ever since because I thought everyone was giving stock tips. And and I've done really well. I've been like even when I started with the Atlanta Hawks, I started like a Roth IRA, and then invested in that, and then I got into crypto. So I've been investing since 2005 when I started sports. So that's why I've pretty much been giving stock tips even before I was known as Stock Tip Dave. Like I was doing it with coworkers, like dating back to Islanders. Like even with the Islanders, I was talking about Tesla stock, Facebook stock, Netflix. Like it's always just been a topic of conversation for me.
Yeah. Did you give anyone tips to get out of Facebook a couple of days ago?
No, I still don't.
Oh,
I would never.
Unbelievable how much.
I bought it at $20. So
yeah, it's unbelievable how much like the world like went on its head because
Zuckerberg lost $6 billion yesterday.
Was it 6 billion? At one point, I saw 7 billion, but I guess he gained some back.
He lost more than every single player in the NBA yesterday, and that's quite amazing. And actually, I was wondering what your opinion was on. I have an issue with Ben Simmons because it's incredibly hard just to make $30,000 a year, and he wants us to feel bad for him because he got criticized for the first time in his life because he can't shoot the ball, and he's guaranteed $33 million just to play basketball. And if he can't show up to do that, I think it's an insult to the game. And like all he has to do is learn how to shoot. I think it's an insult to the fans. Everybody works hard.
Well,
and I hope he gets kicked out of the NBA. I really do.
Well, I mean, I can't say that you're wrong. Like, you got to remember, like, the fans are paying the money to see these players perform at a certain level, and Philadelphia's not quite forgiving when it comes to certain things. And, like, I mean, we had, Eli Manning made it known last week, on national TV what Philly fans are all about. When you and that was as a visitor. So like even as a home player, if you mess up, they're gonna let you know about it.
I think he should have done what John Wall did. John Wall doesn't want to be in Houston. Him and the team came to a mutual agreement where he's still going to be around the team, be sitting on the bench. He's still going to get paid, but he's just not going to play until they trade him. Right. What John Wall did is respectful. What Ben Simmons is doing is disrespecting the game.
Well, I think Ben Simmons sees himself as the victim, right? It's not his. He sees himself as not his fault. Like it's not his fault that they lost. It's nothing falls on him. He's not responsible for anything. And so him coming back, he's seen it as a way. Why should I come back to a place that doesn't want me? They hate me. I play my ass off. But the reality is, he needs to grow up. Like you're a professional basketball player, dude. You're gonna get booed, and if you don't shoot the ball and you play bad, it's even worse. And they're not booing you personally. It's your play. It speaks for itself. And it was just bad. It was there's nothing to say. It was bad, and they lost.
Pass up that open dunk, and the guy missed he passed it off,
and he couldn't hit a free throw.
Yeah, Stephen A. said it best. He's been babied his entire life.
Exactly. And when you're pampered like that, and all of a sudden you get hit with criticism and all that, it's a shock to you. You don't know how to react. And he's like, I want out of there. Well, here's the other problem that he has. Nobody wants him. Like nobody in the league wants him. They don't want to deal with him. His contract is he can't shoot. He's just not that good. So he's going to be. They're not going to pay him his $8.25 million. Yeah. So he's he has no leverage. That's the other thing. So he's got to figure it out.
An article came out today saying he will never be able to recoup any of the money he's going to miss.
Yeah. It's just, but he lives in an age where he's seen other players force their way out of things, and he's saying, you know what, I can do the same. The difference is A, he can't shoot. Yeah. B, he choked in the playoffs, and C, again, he has no leverage. So it's just he's got to figure it out.
Scared to shoot layups, dunk the ball, like
it was bad.
Yeah. Like I've never seen a player get the yips like that ever.
It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you can't sit there and expect to get paid, the amount of money that you're getting paid,
like he
not perform, and then play the victim card. I mean, it just doesn't. You can't have your cake and then some and eat it too. I mean, he's asking for way too much.
He makes in one game what a doctor who performs surgery makes in a year.
Yeah.
So,
to put it in perspective, then enough said. Enough
but it's
said,
what it is. But Dave, I wanted to ask you because I've watched the American Glutton with Ethan Suplee. I mean, I'm just amazed at him. How did you collaborate with him in doing that podcast? I mean, how'd that all come together?
Well, actually, nothing to do with me because I met him when I took the job. When I did not know him before he started the podcast. He collaborated with Kevin Connolly. They came together. They've been friends probably 30 years.
Yeah.
And he had an interesting story to tell, and Kevin approached him about it, and he was like, absolutely. And he's been one of our top podcasts since day one. He's been, pretty much the number 1 or number 2 podcast since he got on the mic, and I think he's got over 3 million downloads.
Wow.
But over time, now I'm friends with him. We talk all the time, and he's extremely nice, extremely humble. He's one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, I've listened to his podcast. It's incredible, his story, like how he trimmed down, he works out 6 days a week, completely changed his diet. I mean, he's inspired so many people. It's just incredible, man. I mean, he got me hooked. I saw it. I was like, I've listened to like a few of them. It's just incredible.
Yeah, he's got some cool guests. Like he's had let me try to think. Yeah, he's had Will Sasso, he's had Paul Johansson, he's had a whole bunch of guests. Like there's just so many to name.
Yeah.
Like Greg Grumberg, who was on Heroes. Had Edward Furlong, from Terminator 2.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
So he was interesting. His voice is exactly. He sounds just the same. Like it's just like when he was in that movie. He's got the same voice, everything.
That's it. And let me ask you this: for you, regular guy, persevere to get these jobs. You're now, working with all these celebrities and people that are famous. What's it like for you? I mean, do you ever catch yourself going, "My God, I can't believe I'm here"? I mean, is there an oh wow moment that happens to you?
Yeah, all the time, because everybody knows I get excited easy, so I kind of have to contain it. It's like for me, I'm from Orlando, Florida. Actually, be more specific, Maitland, Florida. It's very, it's not like the largest place in Orlando, so it's like I grew up watching a lot of the people that I'm now interacting with. So it's like never in a million years would I expect this to happen, especially just because, before this I was in San Diego at a SEO company, and so in my head it's like nobody would ever believe. If I would have said this 6 years ago, people were like, "You're insane."
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Man. Were you a fan of Entourage prior?
Yeah, I'd seen every single episode. And so,
by the way, I remember Kevin when he was in Rocky V. He played one of the 2 kids, the bullies.
Yeah,
he was in.
Actually, I didn't know that was him until like later.
That was him, Rocky V. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was him until way later as well. Through Entourage. I mean, I knew Kevin from John Q back in the day, and I guess that's where him and Ethan met, right?
Yeah,
probably.
No, I think before that. I mean, I knew him from Unhappily Ever. I was a fan of the show Unhappily Ever After. I actually enjoyed that show, but they've all known each other since the early '90s, so they're like a tight knit circle. So,
got it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great products over there, and I saw you did some social media work prior to starting there in ActionPark, and obviously the stuff that you come out with, like all the content for each of the shows, individually, the content for ActionPark's social pages, some great stuff, and you also have that one little clip of you driving with Gary Busey, where you were tasked to pick him up or drive him home, or one or the other. But talk to us about that experience. It was hilarious.
So we wanted to record, the car ride with me and Gary Busey because we couldn't be more opposite. And I get there and pick him up, and they're like, first they wanted me to make sure it was okay to not have a mask. I didn't have to say anything. As soon as he opened the door, he's like, "Take that mask off. This thing's all bogus." And it was great. He told some great stories. Like I talked to him about the movie Black Sheep with Chris Farley and working with that. I mean, he did some crazy things in the car. He was smoking cigars in the car. He was being Gary Busey. He's all over the place. But it was great. obviously he didn't like the car I was in. I was borrowing a car of a coworker, and they even said, if he asks what type of car this is, tell him it's a company car. And when he asked me, I legitimately had no idea what car I was in. So I resorted to saying, oh, it's the company car. And then when I dropped him off after the show and got to his house, that line actually backfired on me, because when I dropped him off at his house, his wife and kids were at the park, and I had to go into his house to get a book called Buseyisms, which is what he wrote with all of his acronyms, where, like, he's the one who told me the word sober. Like, I actually met him when I was in college. I was a background extra on his reality show. And I remember he told me sober meant son of a bitch, everything's real. And I even remember that. So he wrote a whole book of these Buseyisms, and I was supposed to get there signing. And then, I was at his house waiting. He was running around in his house, like, looking for these books. I'm sitting on his couch for like 10, 15 minutes. The next thing I know, he puts on Dr. Phil. He's showing me the book, like, page by page. And, my boss is like, hey, where are you? So-and-so needs their car. You need to come back. And so I was sitting there telling him, I was like, hey, I got to go back, this and that. And he's like, well, it's a company car. This is part of company business. You're doing your job. You don't have to go anywhere. And so he wanted me to stay and hang out and watch Dr. Phil with them.
That's great.
That's incredible, man.
That's hilarious.
He goes, it's the company car. It's your own company business. You can stay.
That's great. Yeah, he's definitely an eccentric person. You could definitely tell that episode of Victory was great. Like, I didn't realize, like, all the stuff that he's been through. Like, I didn't realize all that.
They made a helmet law after him in California because so there's a law named after him. But what was crazy was, you saw him on the video, you saw him on the or heard him on the podcast. But then when I was actually in his apartment, in his own element, it's totally different. He was normal. It's just like he knows how to. There's a different side of him.
Yeah.
Than what you've seen. And he's like nice. He's always nice, but like, let's just say his character is totally different when he's just at his home chilling. And it was incredible to see. Like, everything everybody says about him is totally different than when it's just being him at his house.
Did he sing any Buddy Holly songs or anything like that?
No Buddy Holly. He was just watching Dr. Phil, and he was going through his book, showing me all the movies. He was telling me the stories of each movie he was on, going through all the pages of the book. So it's pretty cool. I learned a lot. He's very nice.
Yeah.
He may be a little intimidating, but he's very nice.
Yeah, I probably, if I'm in the room with him, I'm probably going to be a little bit intimidated, at face to face for sure. Just because of, what you know about him and what you've seen. You also had the opportunity to co-host one of the Victory episodes I saw and heard that one with the Tilla Russell one in the beginning. With Doug and Kevin both on vacation. Kevin Dillon on vacation.
That's great.
How was that? Give us a little victory if you want. You don't have to.
No, it's fine. I can do it in a second. So I mean, they literally, I had no idea. I didn't even expect it. So, literally, I got a phone call like 20 minutes before that happened. They're like, "Hey, Dave, you wanna host Victory?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, come." And then I thought I wasn't sure what was going on, and so I just was like, "Whatever," and I winged it. And then what happened from that was, they started talking about Instagram, and they were trying to, at the time I was like 40 followers away from 1,000. They're like, "How many followers do you have?" I know, I know you know the exact number, and I'm like, "Yeah, I need this many to 1,000." And then they thought they were going to try to get me, over that mark after the episode. And the next morning, there's a whole prank video. It's on my Instagram. You can see it. So what they did unknowingly, I had no idea they did this. So it premiered. I got like 10, 15 followers, and all of a sudden, it was just going crazy. And I walked in the office, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm getting all these followers." I knew the exact number that I had gotten. And I was like, I walked in there. I'm like, yeah. All of a sudden, I had 2,500 new followers. And then on the prank video, I'm still unaware of anything that's going on. And they bought 2,500 followers for $20. They were all fake. and so I'm sitting there telling my cousins, my friends, I'm like, "Hey, this episode was a big hit. I'm getting all these followers," and I got excited. I was texting everybody I knew. And then the videos, they played this, they put together this whole video of everything throughout the day, and then they had me watch it on the big screen. and that's when I learned that it was all fake, all the followers. So
I saw that Instagram video. It's funny. It was funny that but I mean, now what the followers that you have now are. Is it because people have seen you, or are they still, some of them still from that that
no,
moment?
I would say, well, yes, a lot of them are from Victory, because a lot of people that follow me follow all of the Entourage guys. Obviously, I probably have legitimately maybe 1,500 followers, but usually they all come from ActionPark, associated with ActionPark, because they all follow every time. They all follow like ActionPark, Victory, like anybody to do with the show, and then I'm fortunate enough to be lumped into that with the followers.
Nice.
Just because they mention me weekly on the episodes, and so they always kind of at some point or other throw a comment and they mention me and stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean it's taken off too.
Yeah,
it's taken off. I'm sorry, what was that?
Hosting that episode was great. I was a little bit nervous, but when I got there, I was like, you know what, just go for it.
Rick, you want to take it?
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask. So you're involved with ActionPark. So what's next on the horizon in the future? I mean, what do you got? Anything planned? Anything got going on? Any new projects? Any new ventures?
Well, we just moved studios, so that's why it's not fully set up. This is our first week. We're currently setting up everything. They're all in the other studio getting everything ready, because we're recording Eli Manning tomorrow via Zoom, and so Eli Manning Victory tomorrow. As far as we're doing that tour on the East Coast, so we've got November 20th at the Paramount. We've got December 2nd at the Wilbur in Boston. And then on December 3rd, we are at the Capitol Theater in Port Chester, New York. So there's two shows, one in Long Island, and two in Long Island, one in Boston. So hopefully, as far as we can expand that into more cities and more throughout the country, because I've been getting messages. Are you guys coming to Chicago? Are you guys coming to Texas? And then obviously we want to branch out and bring in more podcasts. We're always searching for talent, and because having a podcast isn't easy, because as Kevin will tell you, there's 2 million podcasts out there. What's going to separate you from everybody else? Why should we listen to you over the other 2 million podcasts?
Man. Well, listen, if you want to listen to us,
how do we put our name in the ring?
Yeah, how do we put our name in the hat?
He's always like, you need evergreen content so they can go back and listen to episode number 1 and it's still relevant today.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's that definitely makes a lot of sense. Well, yeah, we're gonna be out in your neck of the woods Super Bowl weekend, you know, and hopefully we can come and visit the studio. We actually want to tape an episode out there, so put in a good word for us. Maybe we can do a little collabo fan experience live at ActionPark if you want to put in a good word for us. But we would definitely love to put our hat in the ring and
definitely come out to the show and see if we're already coming to the show at Paramount. So
I'm coming to the show at Paramount. Yeah. I didn't get the meet and greet ticket, but I might end up, by the time that comes around, I might splurge a little bit more. But we'll stay in touch and whatnot between now and then as well. But it's I'm looking forward to it. I was like, oh man, they're doing a live improv in LA, and I'm like, all right, I get it. They live in LA, but they're New Yorkers. Like, they got to come to Long Island. Exactly. And then I finally found out that the Paramount I was like, okay, got to get it.
And what was crazy was, obviously the one here was our first one, and it was on a Sunday at, I want to say 4 p.m. in the afternoon on a Sunday in Brea, California, and it sold out.
Wow.
3 p.m. on a Sunday at the Brea Improv. And we were like, could you imagine if it was Friday or Saturday night?
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's still some tickets available for the Paramount. Is the link on your Instagram?
No, it's
Either
not.
way, I will put it in the show notes. I could find the link. I think it's on Kevin's.
It's on
ActionPark.
I'm pretty sure you have to get the tickets on Ticketmaster.com and just type in the Paramount New York, and then it lists every show from now until probably the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, I figured I put the direct link right to the show, make it even easier for people. Limit the barrier for entry. Because people just get distracted easily nowadays. So I'll put it in the show notes and stuff after I post the the audio version of the video and whatnot, so we can definitely spread the word a little bit more. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rick, you have any more?
But no, man, I just keep going back to your perseverance, how far you've gotten, where you are. It's pure drive, man. I mean, you're truly an example to because we have some people, young people, come on our show and ask us how do they break into sports and business and entertainment, and you're the example, man. Drive, hunger, dedication. I mean, to be making 60 to 80 calls a day, closing $1 million deals. I mean, all that you've done. I mean, it's just incredible, man. My hat's off to you, man.
I appreciate it.
And then you got Ben Simmons getting paid
$40 million. He doesn't want to play, right?
And playing the victim card. All right, yeah. Ben Simmons, take a couple of lessons from Stock Tip Dave. All right.
Yeah, and here's also a lesson for perseverance. When I was with the Atlanta Hawks, I was on a 9-month trial period, and they just took the best of the best to promote him. Yeah. And at the time, I was like leading the group in sales. And there was no guarantees of a full-time job at the time. I was like, been here for 7 months. They're not going to bring me on. So I applied for the NBA job fair, the team job fair, as the number one sales guy number one inside sales. I applied for it, and they wouldn't even accept me, the job fair.
Really? Did they know who you were when you applied?
I mean, I don't know. And then when I told my bosses at the Hawks, they were like, "Are you kidding me? They didn't accept you," and they were just stunned. And they ended up promoting me without even interviewing for the job, which was great because I was doing everything. I was making phone calls during the day and then running around delivering stats to people during the game on my free time.
Wow,
unbelievable!
That's incredible. Man.
I mean, unbelievable. I applaud you for just all the hard work, the persistence. It's and it shows. I mean, that's just the way it is, and that's why you're having the time of your life now, and ActionPark Media, and hanging out and co-hosting episodes of Victory. Oh, let's get that victory! Come on,
victory!
There you go. Nice.
Is that from the Sylvester Stallone movie Victory, or
no? From Entourage. Victory.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. What favorite Entourage episode? I guess we could leave it on that.
Favorite episode, probably when Dylan attacks the car with the golf club.
Okay. All right. My favorite is Joshua Tree.
Oh, that's right. I remember that one. Yeah. There's so many.
So many. That one, and I think Vegas. But
when they fight, he fights Seth Green.
But at the cornerstone of it, it's usually Dylan and Connolly both with their best performances in each of those episodes too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's but the Vegas fight was fun. Does Seth Green come to the show yet?
No, he's never been on an episode.
Yeah, and Adrian's not on yet, right?
No, no, they're still they would love to have him.
I know. I've seen all the clips and whatnot. What's the biggest thing that you've noticed as far as the the editing and what you look for when finding this content that you're putting out there?
I mean, I look for what makes me laugh, and since I've seen every episode of Entourage, and I listen to the entire episode, and I usually pick out what's good to me, and then I obviously cross check it with Doug Ellen, the creator of the show, and me and him go back and forth with it. Or he actually we go back and forth via text. He gives me editing notes, and so I usually find what's funny, or he's like, I think this is great, make one of this. So me and him exchange ideas and work pretty well together as far as editing the clips for the show.
Awesome. Do you do anything on Hollywood Ways too, or is he doing that?
No, that's separate.
That's separate, right?
Yeah. So I don't do anything with Hollywood Ways. No.
Yeah. Well, honestly, we could talk for a lot longer, but we are up against the clock, and I know you guys have a lot to do to set up the studio. But hope to keep in touch, and hope to see you when you come out here for the Paramount show, and also when we get out there in LA in a few months. So it was a pleasure having you on, and send our best over to Connolly, Dylan, and Ellen over there, and of everyone else over there at ActionPark Media.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thanks a lot. You know, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
No, thanks for having me.
Dave, thank you for coming on, man. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right,
Have a
man.
great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's a great interview, man. If
fun.
perseverance, folks. I mean, when people ask, you know, what does it take to break through? Sometimes it isn't connections. Sometimes it isn't who you know. It's just working your ass off, man. For a kid to,
And
do what he's done.
There. Like, you
and
gotta
being there.
be there and be that last person in the room.
Yeah.
And, have people take notice.
Yeah.
And
by the way, for
happened.
all my fellow Yankee fans, we're down 2-0 in the second. Cole on the ropes here, man. He's got a runner on second, 2 outs, and he's on the ropes right now. If he can hold it down here, I think the Yankees got a shot, but it's not looking good.
What's the innings?
Bottom of the second.
Bottom second. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
the Yankees are down. The Yankees are down. But I guess quick recap of week 4.
Yeah.
But the local New York teams did not go down.
No, they didn't.
And they did not go down. They went out fighting. They went out persistence. I mean, it's the moral of this show today.
Exactly.
Persistence.
You just keep going.
They kept fighting, and they had to go overtime. Both of the Giants and the Jets. The Bills had it well in
they had that well in hand. Yeah.
But Jets and Giants with their huge wins. Corey Davis catching a bomb towards the end of that game. The defense giving up the lead and forcing overtime. It is what it is, but that overtime, I mean, it was just it was something to watch.
Look, for 3 weeks, all you've been hearing about is Zach Wilson's a bust, Saleh can't coach, LaFleur's an idiot. I was on there too. Where's Denzel Mims? I was there, and it was 9-0, and he got a first down. He got with Corey Davis. He got another first down. The offense started rolling, and once the Michael Carter touchdown, once they got in, you can feel it like the tension in the stadium started to ease a little bit. But the throw that he made to Keenan Cole, which should have been a touchdown because Keenan Cole fell on the run, moving to his right, hitting him. He threw that ball 60 yards. And I mean, that was just like one of those sort of BYU days. He hit him on the run. It was an incredible throw.
It was an incredible throw.
But the throw that he made to Corey Davis for the touchdown, where he tells Corey Davis to go deep, that was even a better throw because that throw, I mean, he threw that. Honest to God, I think he threw that another 60, 70 yards. I mean, that was just, and it was a missile. And he hit him right where only he could catch it. I mean, for those of you who are wondering, Zach Wilson can play in the league. Once he sort of masters the game and where to throw the ball, and you're starting to see it. This team is going to be good. They got to get him a tight end. They got to get him another center, and maybe another running back. But they're going to be good. And defensively, the Williams brothers.
Michael Carter balled out a little bit though.
Yeah, he balled out a little bit.
Yeah,
he's good. He's good. But you want a running back by committee. But watching Quincy Williams, who's an absolute beast. I mean, he was knocking everybody out. And Quinnen had 2 sacks. Sean Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff was all over.
We're down Becton too, so that doesn't help us
exactly.
But no, I mean, with by all means, like you can't expect Zach Wilson to just light it up in his first 3 games.
No,
in the league, it just doesn't happen like that.
And he's not Justin Herbert. We'll get into your boy in a second.
Yeah, well, we will talk about Justin Herbert.
Yeah, we'll get to your boy in a second.
Yeah. But he's doing what he's doing what he should be doing at this point.
Yeah.
In the game, and he's had some abysmal showings. There was 1-4 interception game, like that stuff. Like, but you know what? You're talking game 2 against the genius. The defensive genius who just played Tom Brady
and stopped him
from throwing a touchdown pass. Okay, he stopped Tom Brady from throwing a touchdown pass, and
not just Tom Brady.
Defense:
Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin.
Yeah. Okay, and Zach Wilson had. Was Mims even playing that game?
No. He had Corey Davis who missed.
Elijah Moore and Corey Davis, I think, because
and he had it was Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Braxton Berrios. Can we get off the Braxton Berrios thing, by the way? That's over with. He's a punt returner, and he doesn't even return punts sometimes. So let's stop with that.
So that is who Zach Wilson had at his disposal against a defense such as the Patriots it was in New York. But either way, doesn't matter.
No, yeah, right.
We're talking Belichick, and we're talking, just a team he just innately owns,
right,
so to speak. For now.
I tell you, listen, I'd rather be us than Miami right now. I'd rather be us than the Jaguars right now. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
but
I had a nice little segue on that one.
Okay, and then the other team, the Giants, give them credit. Down 21-10, you're saying to yourself, man, and Daniel Jones just kept fighting. He led that team. That guy, Kadarius Toney, man, he's a baller, dude. He can play. And the Giants come back and win that game.
And to see him, ball out and make things happen.
And your boy Saquon Barkley, man.
Saquon, baby.
There, scored a touchdown, winning that game. I mean, that was a big game for Joe Judge because people are questioning him too. There's a lot of heat on him and Gettleman. Is Daniel Jones the right guy? And listen, they should be 2-2 because they should have won that game against Washington.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, if not 3-1.
What game am I missing? The other game they should have won.
Well, they should have won Washington, and they should have won. What was week 3? The Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons game. They should have won. Yeah, the Giants.
Falcons. They lost at the end of that. Yeah, they should be 3-1.
Yeah. So look, both teams are right now on a good trajectory. I love where we are right now as far as the Jets go. I mean, I really do. They're going to London to play Atlanta. That's a game they should win. They're a better team.
Jets beating the Falcons across the pond?
Yes, they're beating the Falcons across the pond. I think they're winning that game. So. They come back from a bye, and then they get New England in New England. This is a different team that's going to play New England. A little more confident. A little more
Jets have the momentum, too.
Right. Zach's coming into his own right now. New England's obviously going to be whatever. And let's get off the Mac Jones thing, too. Here's the thing about Mac Jones. He's dinking and dunking. Stop with he would have been the number 1 pick in the draft. Stop with he's better than Zach Wilson. What Zach Wilson gives you, Mac Jones doesn't give you that in a million years. Zach is a budding star. Everything that he does, it's like, I don't know, it's like watching Elvis out there the way he plays ball. It's like Mahomes and Rodgers. Mac Jones is not that. So let's stop with that.
No. I don't think Mac Jones is that.
He's a game manager.
He did have an impressive game. With emotions, what's going through his head? He's going up against Tom Brady, and he's supposed to be the heir apparent, and he held his own.
He held his own.
You can't take that away from him.
Had a great game.
Is he going to be Mahomes? Hell no.
Is he going to be Wilson? No.
No, he's not going to be Wilson.
No.
He's going to be, I don't know.
Kirk Cousins?
Comp. Yeah, I guess that's his comp. He's going to be a Phillip Rivers. How about we say that?
Wow. I mean, listen, Phillip Rivers. He had a lot of kids.
All right. Maybe Phillip Rivers is he's not going to be Big Ben.
No.
Not going to be Big Ben.
No. Look, he's going to be there for 10 years.
He's not going to be Breeze. Matt Ryan. No.
Maybe. I mean, he's going to be there for 10 years. That's for sure. But look, I just think
he's going to be there. Yeah.
Look, they're going to be
he's better than Cam.
Yes, he is better than Cam. I think that as he evolves and he becomes a better quarterback and he understands the game, yes, he's going to be a better. But I just think the guy we have is just going to be a star, dude. He's going to what you saw last Sunday. That's going to be a regular, man. The more he gets better at the game, the more he understands the game. I think he's going to be better. But let's talk about your boy, Mr. Herbert, last night. Who the guy. How do you feel if you're Miami today? You took Tua, you could have had Herbert, and you screwed that up, and now you don't have a quarterback. That guy's incredible, man. He's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, well, they're talking about it on the Manning-less Monday Night Football last night.
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
I was like, what? I was like, I got to listen to this.
Yeah, where are the middle fingers? Where's Peyton's head?
I'm excited for that Eli Manning Victory podcast episode tomorrow. I'm going to watch that. But
that should be fun.
But whatchamacallit? But Herbert, in 4th grade said he wanted to play for the Chargers and live in California.
Yeah.
and that's just that's something. That is something. By the way, I noticed they touch like this like electro ball when they come out into the tunnel.
Oh, really?
For the game, yeah. Like
because it's the charger.
Charged up.
It's to get all charged up.
I was like, oh man, that's sick.
Did you notice yesterday that was like an 80-20 Raiders crowd, dude? That whole stadium
75. They said 75.
Yeah, it was black and silver, man. I mean, it was just crazy.
Well, the Chargers don't have a fan base. I mean,
they should have never left San Diego.
No, I agree. It's a heck of a stadium, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't prevent against lightning. The closed roof doesn't prevent against lightning for some odd reason.
We need to fix that.
But I think I don't think it was about weather. Like they were saying that it was because of Facebook still coming back up and whatever. Like it was, it was a matter of like how are they gonna, push it a little bit more so social media can go back up and boot back up so they can, share more content and whatever. I mean, it makes sense if that's the case, but unbelievable though. Real quick about how like Facebook and Instagram go down and like the world's on its side.
Facebook is, they had a rough week. So
Yankees. Speaking of having a rough week,
a segue to that.
Yeah, I mean, my segue was different. I was going to talk about the Jets and the Giants grinding it out. And Urban Meyer with a grind of his own happening, and you got the NFL memes talking about Ohio tight ends versus Florida tight ends, or whatever.
Geez.
But no, yeah, he stays back in Ohio because he says he wants to visit. He wants to stay with his family. He spent a couple days with his family, and they find him at a bar and college co-ed, grinding, I guess we could say. Getting close with Mr. Urban Meyer, and he tried to apologize to each entity of the team, defense separately, special teams separately, whatever. And he has lost all respect in that locker room. And not to mention the owner of the Jaguars, not happy about it. And you got to ask yourself, is he trying to get fired because of, what's going on right now? Or is he's just not thinking? And I mean, I don't, personal life is personal life, but at the same time, like if you're taped doing it and you have to answer for it, and don't lie to your team. Like hey, don't say you want to stay back because you want a couple, days of family time, and then you do that. Like, so obviously you don't want to lie to your team. So I mean, it's not a good situation. We don't need to spend too much time on it, but you can give your thoughts, Rick.
Real quick, man, you're the head coach of a professional football team, bro. You get on the plane and you go back with your team because you lost a heartbreaking loss. A. B, if you are going to go see your grandkids, and yes, he was in a place that he owned, okay? But, bro, you don't sit there. I mean, look, they must have been.
Oh, he owned the bar?
Yeah, he owned that place. But they must have been like, hey, you're Urban Meyer. Look, he's a grown man. He knows what he was doing. I mean, come on, man. He can't act like he knew what he was doing. And he's got to understand. And look, this is at this point in life, this is 2021. There is a camp phone. Everybody has a camera on their phone, dude. I mean, you're popular. Did you not think that if you were doing that, somebody would not record that? Like, you have to just his all sense of like, I don't know, sense of reality at some point, like situational awareness. Like, you got to know what you're doing, man. And like, look, his problems with his wife, he's going to have to deal with.
That's another issue, but we shouldn't be privy to whatever's going to happen.
No, that's none of our
personal
business
stuff.
But he's lost the respect of the owner. He's lost the respect of all his team, the players. I mean, dude, if you're on that team, are you going to take that guy seriously when he says, hey, don't do this, don't do that, we got a game? They're going to be like, you didn't get on the plane. They're going to be like, dude, we lost a tough game. You didn't give a shit. I curse. You went to a bar and was grinding on a teenager or whatever, how old she was. You know,
I'm sure she was of age if she's in
yes,
the bar
I'm sure. But here's the other thing.
That's different. That's a different thing altogether. Like,
altogether. Now here's
let's
the other
not make
thing.
it that bigger than that.
You're Trevor Lawrence, dude. You're Trevor Lawrence, his family, his people, his team. You're like, what did I step into? I mean, look, I don't know how he fixes that. The only way I think the only way they fix that is to he's got to go. People say you can't fire him, but
I mean, in Trevor Lawrence's, Urban Meyer is not going to be the coach next season.
I don't think so either. He's out. He's gone. Yeah,
that's for sure.
The question is whether it's happening now or later.
Is it going to happen now or later?
Yeah,
because 2022, he's not going to be the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. I agree with you 100%. He will not. That'll be. But that's the other thing, right? You're Jacksonville. You're trying to reestablish your brand. You're trying to turn over a new leaf, rebuild, right? You hire this guy. You think, I got Urban Meyer. I got Trevor Lawrence. We get some players in here and away we go. And this, oh, my God, another home run. Wow.
Red Sox?
Oh, yeah, 3-0. Oh, my God. Cole is like.
It?
It was, I think it was the catcher. What's his name? Who is this? Let me see. Wow, that place is rocking right now, man.
Fenway Park.
Yeah, who was that? I didn't say who it was, but
because the Red Sox don't wear names on their jerseys
neither. Yeah, that was, who was it? Oh, Kyle Schwarber. Wow, if the Yankees lose this game, wow.
Schwarber's
but look,
I had to wear red, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, look, so it's a mess down there, and look, man. The Jets are on the right path after you watch what Jacksonville's going through. The Jets are doing just fine. So
Jets are on the right path. And you know what? Special shout out to my Mets, the only New York team to manage to lose on Sunday.
Yeah, and they fired Luis Rojas. So
yeah, but they've already have what's his face teed up for a meeting, I believe.
Mr. Epstein.
Yeah, so let's see what happens there. But got to turn the page.
Yeah,
got to turn the page, and it's time. But we got plenty of time to discuss that.
Yeah.
I guess. Herbert looked great yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
They are now the number 1 seed. If the playoffs started today, Chargers are the number 1 seed. And the Cardinals, after the Rams shellacked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cardinals came around and shellacked the Rams in their home stadium.
Cardinals are for real, man.
Unbelievable. I did not expect it to go like that.
Yeah.
Like Murray, AJ Green is all of a sudden 10 years younger.
Yep.
It's I mean, Kyler Needless MVP favorite?
Maybe.
Right?
I mean, he's playing like that. Absolutely.
Josh Allen's balling out over there, but like Kyler Murray, he's doing a lot. He's doing it with his arm. He's doing it with his legs. Something that was impressive though is Jalen Hurts throwing the ball pretty impressive lately.
Yeah, he's looked good.
But that was
by the way,
that was a game. That was a game. That Chiefs and Eagles game, man.
Mr. Mahomes, man, and Mr. Tyreek Hill. Thank you very much on my fantasy team, by the way.
58 points. I came within 1 of taking down Rick.
Yeah.
But no, 3 touchdowns and damn near 200 yards. Almost simultaneously with the Saquon overtime touchdown. Tyreek goes and scores a 45-yard touchdown. I'm like, okay, like this is it. I can't win with this one, but it is what it is. It's fantasy. But 58 points, and Josh Gordon activated off of the 53-man roster, and he will be starting for the Chiefs in the AFC conference showdown repeat between the Chiefs and the Bills this Sunday night. That should be a fun game.
Yeah,
It should be a fun game this Sunday.
That's some good ones this weekend. But
Cowboys and Giants. Cowboys are playing very well. I mean,
that offense. I don't know how the Giants are going to stop that offense.
We're gonna hit the spreads. How did you do this week? Did you check?
I don't even remember, man.
I went like 6-9 or something like that. Something along those lines. But but let's just see.
Let's do a rapid fire of these spreads here. So we can get to the game here.
Yeah, because we're
as Cole is like literally imploding on the mound right now.
Yeah, because we're 110 here, so we're 111 in here. So, all right, Thursday night you got the Rams fresh off a loss, Seahawks fresh off a win.
Man, that's going to be a good game.
Seattle is a home dog by 2.5. I have.
I don't know. I got Seattle at home.
Seattle lost to the Tennessee Titans, and the Jets beat the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, but they didn't have.
Yes, they didn't have Julio. They didn't have AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry still ran almost 200 yards.
Yeah. Give me. I'll take Seattle at home. I'll take them at home.
12th man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but LA, fresh off that loss, you don't.
Wow.
I don't think they got a couple of things. I'm taking LA.
Okay.
On that one.
Just a quick update. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Cole falling apart on the mound. Has no control. Can't find the strike zone. It's. I mean, if Boone doesn't pull him now, it's going to get ugly real fast. He's got to make a call here. 2 home runs beat him. I mean, that's the difference in the game right now. So Boone has to make a call here. He's got to pull him now.
Yeah, I mean, it's plenty of game left.
Oh, so that's it. Boone's made the call. He's pulled him.
All right, there you go.
He went two innings.
The Yankees can come back. Can come back. I don't see a spread on the Jets-Falcons right now on the Sharp rank.
Okay. I don't think they come back till maybe tomorrow they'll come out.
No. I have all the other games. It's just the Jets and the Falcons that are blanked out. But let's just say a pick 'em here.
I love the Jets.
I go with the Jets. I'm going with Jets money line, whatever it ends up being.
Yeah.
This is an interesting game. The Packers visit Cincinnati, and the Packers are favored by 3.
Man, don't sleep. The Bengals are looking good, dude.
I know.
Don't sleep on the Bengals.
All
right. By the way, the line for the Jets, I just see it on FanDuel Sportsbook. It's Falcons -3. I'm taking the Jets.
I'm taking the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking the Jets.
Yeah, the Packers are -3 against Cincinnati. You know what? I'm going to take the Packers. I want to see Cincinnati prove it to me. Show me it's real.
Yeah.
Show me it's real.
Yeah. Okay. Battle in Florida. You got the Dolphins against the Bucks in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 10.5.
Against where is that?
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa's gonna cover that.
10.5.
Yeah, Miami. They don't have a quarterback, man, dude.
I agree. 10.5.
Yeah,
Saints visit the Washington football team, and the Saints are favored by 1.5. I'm with Washington.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah, I liked Taylor Heineke has been impressive. You know, from what he's been tasked to do. McLaurin is, he's on fire. And Antonio Gibson. I mean, Barkley did very well. And dude, what's with the Saints? They did not target Alvin Kamara once in this game against the Giants.
I don't know, dude.
One target.
I have no idea about that.
And I get it. Like they say, Jameis Winston's not a dink and dunk guy, and he doesn't do checkdowns. But like, dude, you have Alvin Kamara.
I don't know. Something's not right there.
Not one. I mean, you have to seriously consider Taysom Hill, because if you're not gonna utilize Kamara to his strengths, then what do you?
What's the point?
You do.
No, I agree with you.
What's the point? If your quarterback can't do what he should be doing and targeting, and you lost Callaway and whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Washington, I like there, plus 1.5.
Yeah.
Now, Urban Meyer comes back home with his Jaguars.
Shit.
Tennessee comes to town. And the
Give me
Jaguars
Tennessee all day long on this
You
one,
think
man.
so? I think the Jaguars lose this game, and Urban Meyer loses his job.
Well, it could get to that, but I like Tennessee to destroy the Jaguars in this game.
I'm picking the Jaguars at +4 because I think Urban Meyer has to make amends somehow.
You think those guys are going to play for him?
I don't know, because it could happen. So I'm going with the Jaguars.
All right.
Because they don't want to be a laughing stock. Maybe they want to play for themselves. Because I don't know.
Tennessee.
We'll see. All right. I'm
Moving
picking the Jaguars. Eagles visit the Carolina Panthers. Panthers were competitive against the Cowboys, though.
Yep, but the true Sam Darnold showed up, man. That guy can't. He's just not a big time quarterback.
Yeah, but he's still, dude. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Dude's got 5 rushing touchdowns this season,
and nothing else. He didn't throw anything.
But he had no McCaffrey. Don't forget, and DJ.
But he had DJ Moore,
150 yards receiving.
He has DJ Moore.
But
he Robbie Anderson.
They scored 28 points, dude. They scored 28 points. You can't say it's the Sam Darnold of old. He scored 28 points.
I'm not buying into the Sam Darnold thing. I'm going to take Philadelphia in the upset here. I'm going to take Philadelphia here.
I did pick Philadelphia at the +4. I want the points. Denver visits the Steelers. Denver's going to most likely be with Drew Lock because Bridgewater's concussion protocol.
Yeah. So here's the thing about this game.
I'm going with the better defense, which I think the Broncos are the better defense, and the Steelers are just not impressive. I'm taking Denver +1, even though it's a pick 'em.
I'm with you on that because I mean, if Bridgewater was the quarterback, I'm taking Denver easy. I just after what I've seen from Roethlisberger, I don't think he has anything left in the tank, man. No. So I'm going with Denver in this one. I'm with you.
Yep,
+1, but 1.5.
+1. Patriots visit Houston. Patriots are favored by 9.5. And it's a hefty amount. But I'm still picking the Patriots.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's the defense. I mean, they held down the Bucs and that ridiculous receiving core. So what can they do against Davis Mills and that Houston?
Yeah. Next up,
the Lions going into Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 7.5. Minnesota with a pretty rough loss against the Browns, but the Browns are for real. Jared Goff can't get out of his own way, so I'm giving this one to the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Lions here. They've been playing hard for the last 3 or 4
I was thinking about it, but I don't know. Jared Goff can't hold on to the ball in the red zone.
Well, listen, the guy got an interception basically because the ball got snapped into his chest and it bounced off his shoulder pads.
Yeah, but 3 times? Come on, man.
I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one. I'm gonna roll with that one.
It's a valid choice.
Yeah.
Now the Browns visit SoFi Stadium and play my boy Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers.
Double play. Yankees have gotten out of the inning. Wow. Nice. What a performance right there. If they can hold them to 3, and who got it? Gio Urshela started that double play.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
That is a big time play right there. That might have just saved the season for them right there. All right, go ahead.
Originally I picked the Browns at the +1, but I'm thinking about I'm rethinking it, and I like the Chargers because they're home, and Cleveland. There's still a little bit of like turmoil amongst the Beckham and Baker thing.
Hey man, it's a real simple choice: Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. That makes it for me.
That's it. The Raiders are going to bounce back. Fields goes into the Death Star.
Yeah, he's not winning that.
5.5 point favorites.
Yeah, I'm taking
the Raiders all day.
Yeah.
San Fran goes into Arizona. Arizona is just manhandled the Rams. San Fran has Trey Lance quite possibly for this week. Impressive, but he's not Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm going
Uh,
Cardinals. Cardinals that
at
defense.
5.5.
Yeah, Cardinals gonna win that game.
I'm taking that.
Yeah.
The Giants, fresh off of their win, going into Jerry's world, fresh off of their win, but the Dallas just looks dominant, and I'm taking the -7, even though they are historically close games with the Giants and the Cowboys, and 7 is a lot. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with the +7.
I'm with you
I'm
on
gonna go
that.
with the +7, but I think the Cowboys have a chance in really just
I'm with that. I'm with
putting
you
a
on that.
whooping on them.
I'm going to go with the +7. My only concern is the Giant defense holding up, but I'm going to go. I think offensively they're going to score some points
Yes.
because the Dallas Cowboys just released Jalen Smith.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
freaking Diggs' brother over there.
Yeah, he's incredible.
So interception every single game this season.
Crazy. But yeah, I'm going Giants +7. I'm with you on that.
Now Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills go to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs had a statement game against the Eagles, but the Eagles have not been, anything to really scoff at.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills have something to prove. Chiefs haven't been firing on all cylinders, and let's see what this Josh Gordon dynamic brings to their team. But I think that the Bills are way more dominant than the Chiefs are right this second in this point in the season, and I'm picking the Bills.
I'm with you on that. I'm taking the Bills +3. The Chiefs aren't what the Chiefs once were a couple of years ago. So
yeah,
Buffalo's going to win this game.
And then you got Monday night. Indianapolis Colts visit the Baltimore Ravens. It's a 7-point spread. That's a lot. I'm picking the Colts with the points.
No,
the Ravens could very well.
I like Baltimore. Win. Lamar's not playing. He's on a different level right now. I like him.
Yeah, agreed. But I just think 7 is. I think 7's too much.
Okay, I like Baltimore to win this one.
Yeah, I think 7's too much. But yeah. So all right. So you got your Red Sox, Yankees going on right now. Tomorrow we got the Red Hot Cardinals playing in LA against the Dodgers, the 106 win Dodgers.
Yeah,
I think the Cardinals can take this.
Hey man, they did win 17 in a row.
They won 18 out of 19,
something like that.
19 out of their last 20.
Yeah.
So they are red hot.
Stanton just struck out. Evaldi's dealing right now. I mean, come on, man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
Yeah, they got 6 innings, but
plenty of time. But I feel like the Dodgers are in jeopardy. 106 wins. But we might have a brand new playoff format next year, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But
listen, thank you, Kevin Connolly, for popping in on it. Give us a couple of minutes. We appreciate that.
Thanks for the cameo over there by Kevin Connolly. For those of you that have not taken a look or listened to any of the great podcasts over there that are produced by ActionPark Media, go download American Glutton, Dom's Den, the true crime, the dossier on Biggie there, and then of course Victory the podcast. For any of you Entourage fans out there, it's a great listen. They got about 100 episodes at this point. They are coming to the Paramount in Long Island. They're taking a whole East Coast tour, as Dave mentioned before. We will post that link for sure in our show notes, but you can go on Ticketmaster, type in Victory, and you'll find all the dates and all the locations that they're going to be at. So definitely get your tickets now. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's with Kevin Connolly, who played E, Kevin Dillon, who played Drama, and Doug Ellen, the creator of Entourage itself. They're going to be the ones that are going to be live and in person on the Improv. And for those of you in Long Island, our episode 100 this Sunday at Rudi's Bar and Grill. Please join us 1 o'clock, right between that Jets across the pond game against the Falcons, and prior to that, Giants at Dallas. So at 1 o'clock, we will be there, and we're gonna have some, we're gonna have some fun. So come by, grab a beer, get some wings, some great food over there at Rudi's. It is on our Instagram. It's on our Facebook. All the details are there. So please, come visit us and come hang out. So thank you again to Stock Tip Dave, and it was a pleasure to have 99 amazing episodes with you all, and we're looking forward to episode 100 this Sunday.
Yeah, folks.
So
We'll
good
see you
luck
Sunday.
to your Yankees, Rick.
Yeah,
I say that a little hesitantly.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you right now, man, if they don't get to him in the next couple
best.
Innings, I don't see how the Yankees come back from this. They're down 3-0. Evaldi's only got 49 pitches. He's got 2 outs in the 4th. He's dealing. It is not looking good. It's not looking good. Look, man.
Real quick, what's your prediction? Who wins the World Series? While we're at the beginning of it all now.
I mean, look, I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm going to root for the Yankees. Also, I'll say if the Yankees can pull it out, I'll say Yankees and Dodgers. They'll get there.
Yankees, Dodgers.
But I mean, if the Yankees win this game, they're going to the World Series. I don't care what anybody tells me. So we'll see. But it's listen, Garrett Cole just shit the bed, but they're not hitting right now. I mean, the thing is, they haven't put any pressure on Evaldi. I mean, he looks too comfortable out there.
They're making him work a little bit.
No, he's only at 50 pitches, man. I mean, he's working fast.
Fourth?
It's strike 1, strike 2, man. He's just not
In the 4th, or the 3rd. What?
Yeah, in the 4th inning.
50 in the 4th. Yeah, I mean that's pretty.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, he's gotten away with a couple of pitches. That one should have been out. So
yeah. All right,
we'll
I'm
see.
gonna go watch. I'm gonna go watch it myself.
I'm gonna go get something to eat.
All right. Well,
All right, man.
Glad that you were able to make it, and
Yeah.
it was good times. And I'll see you on Sunday.
Sunday, 1:00. Peace.
Have a good night, everybody.